My name is Tylee Mendez, and I have just the craziest adoption story. I mean, through this process, I'm getting to know myself, my story, my DNA. I think I've been on this journey for a long time, but really it's gotten super serious, and to where I'm working on this like just about every day for the last 2 weeks. And there are things that happened that prompted me to do searches and decide to actually spend the money to make things happen. A good starting place is getting my story out, the core, the base of it. I just want to give a general idea of why my story is so unique. I was adopted at the age of 1, and my mom, and I'll always refer to her as my mom because that's who and what she was, she foster cared my birth mom. So when I'm referring to birth mom, you know, I'm always talking about obviously birth mom, and if I say mom, I'm always referring to my adopted mom, but it's never been seen that way. My mom did foster care of some type to my birth mom. My birth mom was pregnant with me at 16, had me at 17, and as far as I know, decided that she couldn't care for me, and so she asked my mom to adopt me, and my mom did, of course. Now there's a lot to that story, that part of the story, that some of it's unraveling now. There are some things about that period of time that I never knew, but that'll all come later. So for now, my mom adopted me, my birth mom disappeared, and I grew up for most of my childhood into my teenage years being told that my birth mom was dead. There was nothing there. That was something that I came to terms with. I put it in a little box and I stuffed it away. I can remember when I was in like kindergarten and like, you know, grade school, I would pray to her every once in a while. And I thought about her often in my lifetime, but I always thought of her as she is passed, she's in heaven, she's watching over me, she's a guardian angel. That's how I've always seen her my whole life. But when I turned 17, my younger brother answered the house phone and he said, "Here, it's your mom." And I'm looking directly at my mom. She's in the kitchen cleaning, and I'm like, that's interesting. So I answer the phone. She says, "This is Melissa, your mom. Don't hang up and don't tell Jerry that I'm talking to you." It was a hard decision to walk away from my mom and to take the phone in the other room, because she's asking me to lie to my mom, and I don't even know who it is yet. Honestly, like, to me, my birth mom's dead, so I had no idea. So because I was so curious, and because if it was her, I had so many questions, I immediately walked to my bedroom. We talked for a while. She asked me questions, but she would say things like, "Oh, I bet Jerry bought you a car. I bet Jerry bought you a cell phone." And I didn't really know how to answer to that. Like, you know, yeah, she is my mom. She bought me a car and a cell phone. Yep. You know, like I didn't know how to answer those questions, but I didn't want to have her run away or feel in any way that she didn't want to talk to me. So I continued to talk to her. It took me about, I want to say 2 or 3 days before I actually went to my mom and told her. And my mom, I can just remember her being really okay with it. She said, you know, if Melissa is alive and she wants to get to know you, you know, we can all go out, we can meet, it'll be fine. Like, I support you. From what I can remember, what happened next was I had planned with my other friends, we all grew up together. It was one of our friends in our group, our best friend, surprise 18th birthday party. And because of my excitement of the fact that my birth mom's alive and I can actually meet her and talk to her in person, I overlooked that party and I double booked. So I called Melissa and I said, hey, look, like, it's my best friend's 18th birthday party. I am gonna go to this party. Like, I helped plan it. It's a big deal. Can we reschedule? And if I'm being 100% honest, I don't remember why we never met in person, because I'm in Oregon and she's in Washington, just over the bridge. She was in Vancouver, Washington. And in that time frame, we never actually physically met. And it was a really dark time in my life. I was drinking a lot. I was like to the point where I was blacking out. Not very fond or proud of that time frame in my life, but I was 17. I didn't even know who I was, and I was being blindsided with the fact that a person, such an important person that should have been in my life, came back from the dead. It was a tough time for me. It's not something that I think about often anymore. I think that when I think back, what was said between her and I the last time we talked, I believe we were arguing about something or upset, and I think I hung up on her. I mean, it's so hard for me. This time frame was so hard. I believe that was the last phone call. I believe that I just was fed up and I hung up on her, and that was it. And I was stubborn. I wasn't gonna call her back, and if I'm stubborn, she must be stubborn, because she didn't call me back. It could have been weeks, it could have been a couple months. I called her back and the number that I called her at was disconnected. And I just remember being devastated, because how do I find her again? She found me. How do I find her again? How do I get answers? And up until this point, I haven't heard from her. I thought about her. I have. I mean, I guess you can't have two kids and not think about certain parts of your life or things. But here we are, and I guess there's so much more to the story. And just in these last 2 weeks, I found out so much. A lot of the things that I'm going through right now, especially in these last 2 weeks, they're not all happy. Actually, it's kind of sad. I want to be open and honest about this process. I think that stories like this should be told. The more open and honest I am about my journey, the good, the bad, and the ugly, maybe it will help someone in some way. Maybe my story will spark someone's interest and they'll look for their family. Or maybe the things that I've gone through and what I find out and what I don't know yet, what I'm about to find out in the next who knows how long, maybe that will help someone. Maybe that'll help close the door for them. I mean, really, when we do these searches, we want answers. We want answers to the questions. We want to forgive what we can. We want to let go. If there's a relationship there, for me personally, I want to pursue it. If there's no relationship there, then that's fine. As long as I know that at the end of the day, I did everything that I could do to find the people that biologically make me me. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. It might seem silly to some that I want to go find people that haven't made a difference in my life at all. But I think for people that are in similar situations as myself, can vouch that it's important. It is important when you're adopted, especially the cliffhangers that I've been left with, the unanswered questions that I have. I mean, guys, there's so much to my story. This is just the first little bit. I'm trying to get you information so that you, as I move forward and post videos about my experience, about who I'm talking to, about why I'm talking to them, about the answers that I'm getting, that you understand the base part of my story. So for now, that is it. I am going to do another video on things that I found out just in the last 2 weeks. If you have an adoption story, I would love to hear it. Go ahead and comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll be back soon with more juicy information on my crazy adoption story. Bye.